Can I comment on that? It's incredible how we
Sure.
synchronized. Because when I was researching about listening, I actually went to Covey. When he
Hmm.
actually said, he gave 5 levels of listening. And he explained, you ignore, you pretend, you selective listening, then you have
Yes.
attentive and this empathic
Yes.
listening. He, he,
Yes.
he made it as a top one.
Yeah, yeah, it's fascinating. Perhaps one of the best ones I attended on listening many years ago in the IMI was given by an American lady, Nancy Klein. Now, it was specifically focused on the coaching arena. And one of the things as a coach, of course, that you're trained to do is to listen, attentively to the other person and to create the safe learning space. And you're paying attention to what they're saying and how they're saying it and all of that. But I always remember one of the phrases she had was, how do you know what you're about to say is more important than what they're about to think? And for a coach, that should be tattooed somewhere, because people are, how would I say it? We're all experts on being ourselves. And if the environment is created where we can feel listened to and understood, we will often find our way to our own solutions rather than them being sort of imposed on us from the outside. At minimum, there's a synergy going on there. Now, interviews are slightly different because your job as an interviewee, let's say, is to obviously prepare, not under prepare, not over prepare. That could be a topic for another day, but to do optimum prep, and to have an agenda in terms of what you want to communicate to the interviewers. But your job then is also to listen to them and to listen to nuances of questions. And, it may not be asked the way you thought it would be asked, so you have to be flexible in your response to that. You mentioned there Stephen Covey's different levels of listening. I tend to gravitate to 3 levels of listening. One, and we'll all know these. One is where we're just listening to the words that someone else is saying. So you could be typing away. Imagine an office scenario. You could be typing away on the keyboard, and someone here is talking to you. You can be listening to them, but you're
Mhm.
only taking in the words. There's no tone of voice, there's no body language, there's no facial expressions, there's no physiology, there's no attentiveness to it. And that's basic levels of listening. At an
Mhm.
interview, of course, you may be speaking and you may feel the interviewers are not listening to you because they're also writing down some keywords that you're saying. But
Yes.
that's part of the deal with it. That's their job. The next level of listening is where you are paying full attention to the person. You're taking in the words. And it's not that you're doing this purposefully. I think attention brings it. You're able to see the congruence of the communication. Is their tone of voice and facial expressions consistent with the words?
Mhm.
Sometimes in a humorous way at workshops, I'll say things like, you can go into a shop and the person behind the till can say to you, "Hello, can I help you?" The words are fine, but everything else
Ab-
is communicating something entirely
Absolutely.
different. Yeah. Sometimes at an interview, we might be saying certain things ourselves, but the tone of voice or our own facial expressions does not line up behind it. The third level of listening is we're doing all that's gone before, but we're also looking to minimize some of the barriers to listening. So we're trying to purposely not do certain things, and
Mm.
and that's tricky, not doing a negative. And all of these things that are barriers to listening, Christoph, they're natural. They're natural things we do. It helps us make sense of the world, so we're not overwhelmed by all the detail that's available to us and the information overload. But for example, there's a few of them that we can relate to. One, say, is filtering, where we're
Mhm.
listening with an agenda, or for someone to conform to the expectation that we have of them. We're making judgments of other people. We're doing comparisons between what's said now and what was said before, and in particular, we're comparing their experience to our own. And very quickly, we might stop listening and jump in with our own stories, because a lot of what listening, actually, a lot of what conversations are, is where we're waiting for the other person to stop speaking so we can come back with a better story.
Not here, James. For here, you can talk out. It's a pleasure to listen to you.
Yeah, but oftentimes we're not really listening to them. We're just waiting for them to catch breath so we can keep going, as it were. Yeah. Or then we can also, find ourselves not really listening to the other person. We just begin to spar with them a little bit. It's about who will have the last word, where ego comes into it. So I find that area quite fascinating, Kristof, I have to say, because listening is often something we just take for granted. It's almost like if I'm not speaking, therefore I'm listening, but that's not really the case.
Feel free to join our LinkedIn group. Hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you.